Hello everyone, this is MC Deck Discussions and I'm Obby Small, and today I have coming to you the next draft for the Season 2 of the Limited Environment Draft Tournament. And we actually have a couple of pods this season, so in other words, we're one pod that makes up 4 people that are participating. And we are in the pod called Jams, which is made up of Jeff, or MaNemJeff, from Facing the Encounter, Obby Small, myself, Monkey from Sort of Board, and Stegy from his own channel, Stegy. So that spells Jams. And so we are that's our team, and we're going to be the ones competing against each other. And in this case, I ended up, we're randomly selected for the order, and we do a serpentine style draft. And I happen to be the one to get first pick. And this time I decided that I couldn't really think of a hero I really wanted to necessarily go with, though I would have liked to have had Wonder Man. So I thought, well, Wonder Man is aerial, so maybe I could go for an aerial trait. And I was also thinking about psionic. So I had 2 traits in my mind when I started my draft, and I thought I'd go ahead and go for the big box that could support that the most. So I started off with Next Evolution, and really that's more of just a great big box, expansion box, period. It doesn't support aerial terribly much, but it does for sure support psionic. So let me go ahead and show you a little bit about what's in that box and why I chose that as my starting box. So Next Evolution has Cable, who is Soldier and X-Force, but can eventually become psionic. Didn't get him with the intention of playing him, even though he's awesome. I did play like kind of a practice tournament round with him, or a bonus round, you might say, in Season 1. And so because I already did that, I didn't really intend on playing him, but he has some very good cards that can help support psionic, and he has just, and a little bit of aerial, particularly this card right here, Sunspot, who I think is a really good aerial ally. And then you can see also has, some psionic ally, but also has just these fantastic player side schemes, right? So you have Call for Backup, one of the best in the game. Lock and Load, another great one for aggression. And then we also have Build Support in here as well. And then we've got, several copies of The Power of the Mind that can double the number of resources when paying for a psionic card. And then we have Scimitar, or Scimitar, however that's pronounced. So a great weapon for when you play psionic cards. And then we also have, if we keep scrolling down to Domino, in her kit was included, where is it? Superpower Training. So another fantastic player side scheme. So I figured no matter where I go from here, I'm setting things up pretty nicely, even if they don't go according to plan. So let's go ahead and look then at my second pick. And actually, since I have the first pick, on my second pick, it came back to me and I get 2 picks because I'm on the end of a serpentine draft. So I ended up choosing Wonder Man and Falcon. So those are both aerial characters, and I was particularly interested in Wonder Man because I have not yet played Wonder Man, and both of them then support the aerial cards. Falcon especially has a ton of aerial cards, but Wonder Man has his share of those as well. So that's along the lines that I was thinking there. And then when it came back to me again, I actually also had Angel in mind, so I'll go ahead and point that out. Angel's down here in round 9, but I also didn't think I was at a huge risk of losing out on Angel, so I thought I could just wait until later on in the draft. So instead, I thought, let's go ahead and head that direction for psionic. So I picked up Phoenix, who has just a ton of psionic cards, and she's just, built for that kind of, that trait. So I went with her next. But I had a major change, of course, because by the time, coming back to me again, so I get 2 picks every time it comes back to me again. So it came back to me in round 4, and I picked up Phoenix, and then I realized, wow, nobody has chosen Sinister Motives yet, which I thought would have been gone by this time for certain, but it wasn't. So I thought, well, maybe I'm going to switch directions. So I'm starting off, I have a nice setup for aerial, I have a nice setup for psionic. Let's see where things can go with the spider trait. What is that? The web warrior trait. All right. So I picked up Sinister Motives, and I was hoping then to pick up Silk, but Silk got taken before it could come back to me. But I did pick up Gambit at that point because I thought, well, you know what? I want to be able to go down to Alter Ego at some point. So if I pick up Gambit, I can get Professor X. That was in his packet. And then after that, I picked up some more Web Warriors. So when it came back to Gambit, I was able to get Gambit and Spider. Okay? And then things came, and by that time, I was already, even though Silk had been taken, really I had the Web Warrior kit going, and nobody else had a lot of motivation to pick up Web Warriors. So I was able to pick up Spider-Ham from there, and as well as Angel to flesh out the rest of my aerial kit. So I had, pretty decent aerial kit at that point. And then lastly, I ended up picking up Ironheart, who if you're picking up Sinister Motives, you also have some things for, champions. And so I figured Ironheart could make a good one too. And Ironheart's just a great hero anyway. And I'm guessing Ironheart might have had something else in her kit. Oh, Ironheart becomes Ariel. I don't think it's in her first, what do you call it? Her first, let me look her up. Here it is, versions, right? So she upgrades kind of like she's, what do you call it? Like leveling up, right? And so she has her version 1, which is champion traded, but by the time she gets to version 2, she's Ariel traded, and version 3 also aerial traded, and she's just a strong hero. And maybe she has some other cards too. Let me see if I was thinking of anything else as well. Oh, she had some more aerials on top of that, right? So she had Cloud9 as an aerial ally, as well as Falcon. And then she has Vivian, and she can also get Ingenuity, which she can play, with her genius trait. So that's just a strong addition too. So that was some of the things I was thinking that just to finish up with Ironheart. But then after that phase comes the trading phase. So I did want Silk, and MaNemJeff had Silk. And was open to trading. In fact, even suggested that maybe I was open to trading. It turned out that he wanted to trade for Wonder Man. And that was a tough decision for me. I hadn't played Wonder Man, and Wonder Man has some great cards, including some nice aerial cards in there and some new cards that I really wanted to try. But with what I had built out here, I mean, I had basically had all of the Web Warriors, and if I picked up Silk, I'd get the other Web Warrior and one of the best cards in protection. All right, so here's Silk, and you're going to see there's a lot of really good cards here actually. So first of all, we have some more Web Warriors to flesh out our allies. So we have Scarlet Spider, just awesome for protection, and we already have a pretty good setup for protection anyway to begin with from Sinister Motives, as well as Spider Bite. And then some other good, protection cards that I might want to include as well. Dr. Sinclair is in here, and so are the copies of Energy Shield if I want to go any tech trait at all. But super importantly, Ready for a Fight, one of the most critical cards for solo in protection if you want to be able to go down to Alter Ego. And of course with Silk, at a minimum with Silk, you want to go down to Alter Ego, but also we have all of us have the core set available to us, and definitely Spider-Man Peter Parker wants to go to Alter Ego. Even if you don't do a Web Warrior build, you can get Ready for a Fight so that you can go to Alter Ego pretty easily with him, because he has a great, basically he's a resource generator in his Alter Ego side, not for physical, but he can get out he can help get out cards on that side too. So he does want to go to Alter Ego, plus Aunt May is over there to heal him up whenever he needs that. And then note that we have another Web Warrior ally too with Madam Web. And I think, yes, and so that's basically why I did want Silk. And I decided it was worth the price. I thought it was a high price to pay, but I also thought it was a fair price to pay to give up Wonder Man. And so that is my draft as far as the heroes are concerned and the big boxes are concerned. Let's take a look at the very last bit. So what we also decided to do in this draft was draft villains, but we did decide that, if you draft a villain, you don't really care if somebody else also drafts them. So there's no real excitement to the Serpentine draft. So instead, we just all said, hey, here are the 3 villains that we are interested in, and just kind of to see what else everybody else chose. And what I actually in particular did was I announced my first 2 villains. If you've seen my channel, I really like Expert Claw. And by the way, they're expert by default unless somebody chooses to select somebody for some other thing. Like if you really like a villain in standard, you could have chosen, say Magneto in standard or something like that. But if you did, it would actually say standard on it. So if it doesn't say anything, it's expert. So I chose Expert Claw and Expert Magneto, waited to see what a lot of the other players were going to be choosing. And after looking at that, I decided, I also wanted Dark Beast. So I like Dark Beast, hadn't played against Dark Beast in a while, and I think he's a pretty good one to face. So there are my draft picks. And then maybe I should show one last thing. All right, so the last thing I thought I'd share are the villains that we're going to face. So the tournament is once again going in 4 weeks, but this time, so it was rather intense last time, facing 2 villains per week. And, if you're a content creator, you also have all the rest of what you're doing with that. So we decided that we would go with 5 villains over the course of 4 weeks. And so the order of the villains that we're facing, all of these in expert, right? Black Widow, Venom, Magneto, Mutagen, Formula, the Green Goblin, and Red Skull. So these are them. I think this is a great selection of villains. I like all of these. I think they're all fun to play against. And so it's 4 weeks, but there are 5 villains. So what that means is one of the weeks, you have to choose to play against 2 villains. So you can stack that up however you want. I'm probably going to stack that up with the first week. The first week of our tournament is during spring break, but I do tend to kind of play my games early and record them, which you're allowed to do. If you're a content creator, you can record them and then have them come out when you want them to come out. So I may do these right away, but it could be maybe it'll be Venom and Magneto instead, because it depends on when I actually start doing my recording. But I'm guessing it'll be the first 2 that I'll go ahead and take care of them right away and play them in the first week. So that's what we have to choose. Choose one of our weeks to play 2 of the villains, but this is the order in which we play them, and we're each going to select our hero that goes up against them, and then the aspect that they're going to play in. We are allowed to repeat the hero as long as we change the aspect that we are going to play in. So for example, if I chose to use Silk, and I let's say Silk Leadership, if I chose Silk again, I would have to choose something else like, say, Justice. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed seeing how my picks went this time, and you'll get a chance to see, I know at least one content creator is already doing a video for their picks too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that video and what was going on in their mind as they were choosing. And hopefully we'll get a chance to hear that from each of the players in our pod. Again, that's Jams is the name of our pod for season 2. All right, looking forward to the gameplay, and hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure you're welcome to comment in the comment section. I love having conversations with people there. Have a great one, everybody.